very, very happy today to be here at Oka's Autobody in Waipahu for a virtual tour. So for those of you who maybe have heard of Oka's Autobody or just want to know a little bit more because you haven't heard of them, Oka's Autobody is a family-owned and operated collision repair shop located in Waipahu, right? So the company was founded by Eddie Okuhara and his brothers Fred and Henry in 1965. Since then, they've been here in Waipahu, probably serving the Leeward community for about 55 years now. So that's a very long time. So very, very exciting that we have them here today. It's a family business, so it's earned the reputation for really great quality repairs, outstanding customer service, and for really giving back to the community as well. That has made them so successful and blessed throughout the years. Eddie and his brothers have since retired, and Oka's is now run by his children, right? So you'll be meeting the three of them today, which is really, really exciting. So while they specialize in collision repairs, right, Oka's also prides themselves in helping to care for their customers. So they have excellent customer service here. So you'll meet one of those people here today. And they understand that being involved in a car accident is really stressful, but they're really honored when people choose them to help them in their time of need, right? So very exciting today. I'm about to pass it to our presenters. So I know that you all have been crafting questions for them and like talking with your teachers about it. So I'm very, very excited to hear your questions for them as we go through the tour. So I'm going to pass it off to Marlo, who is the office manager, Brandon, who's a sales manager, as well as Kyle, who's our lead repair planner. Okay, so give them a silent round of applause when you see them on screen.
Morning, guys. My name is Brandon Okahara. I am the sales manager here at Oka's Autobody.
Good morning. My name is Marlo. I've been with Oka's Autobody for about 16 years, and I am in the Human Resources Department.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Kyle. I've been with the company for about 24 years. I do a part of what we call repair planning, which is once the car comes into the shop and we do a second assessment. So I'm heavily involved in that process.
Okay, guys, so to get started today, we wanted to kind of just throw this out to you, get everybody talking, or in some cases typing. Have any of you, by show of hands, or if you want to chime in via chat, have any of you guys ever been involved in an accident? And if you can kind of share some of the emotion that you went through when it happened, and what were some of the things that kind of came to mind right when the accident happened? Yeah, I know one person responded that they haven't been in an accident, and that's great. We love hearing that because at least we know that you're still safe and you haven't gone through the stress of being involved in an auto accident. I'm not surprised. There's a bunch of people that have not been in accidents. That's good news.
So she said in the chat that she has been in an accident and that she was actually super scared and emotional when it happened.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that, for us, what we try and recognize on a daily basis is that it's more than just fixing the car. A lot of times what we're doing is actually, and it sounds odd enough, but we're actually helping to repair the customer as well, right? And kind of show them, what needs to be done and walk them through the process. We've been through trainings that have said that when you get involved in a car accident, it's, as far as the stress and anxiety level, it's up there with like events like a death in the family, or because it is stressful. There's a lot of emotions that you run through, right? I mean, first and foremost, it's usually the first thing out of your mouth is some sort of profanity, right? And you're upset that it happened. But then it goes from being upset to being scared. I mean, is my kids okay? My kids are in the back seat. Are they okay? Then it comes to worry. It's like you're walking outside of the car to see what your car looks like after it's been hit. So there's this full gamut of emotions and thoughts that are entering your mind. And the reality is, they say, we've heard different numbers from different people, but they say that people haven't been involved in accidents, or if they are involved, I should say, in an accident, it happens maybe once every 7 to 10 years. So if you can imagine, if you only had to do one activity once every 10 years, you probably wouldn't be too well versed in how to handle the situation. So that's where we come in, is that unfortunately we have the pleasure of doing this on a daily basis for customers. So we know the ins and outs of what has to happen, what the insurance needs, what the customer needs. So we like I said, we although we do repair cars, we're also helping to guide the customer through this very stressful experience.
Kind of helping them rebuild their confidence to get back in their car, back on the road.
Correct, yes. Let's see. um, does anybody else have any let's see, there was one other person I think that was involved in an accident.
Yeah, we had Jaylene say she has been in one, but it was minor.
I, I like
Um,
the one about the off-duty cop though. That I have friends and family that are HPD, so I can't really comment on that. But that is pretty funny though. Um,
and then a couple of people have seen accidents happen. I think that's something that we've all kind of seen before.
yes, yeah,
Really bad things. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. It's a interesting business to be in. To take a situation like this where it's an unfortunate incident and have the opportunity to be there to help somebody. And for some people, I mean, a vehicle is just a way to get to work, a way to get to school, a way to get to the beach. But some people, I mean, genuinely have an emotional connection to their car. I'm a car guy myself, so I love my car. And I can only imagine what happens when you get involved in an accident. I've never personally been involved in it. I take that back. I've been hit once, but I've never hit anybody, and I've had my car hit multiple times. So it is an opportunity we see to help people. Not only by the car, it's just emotionally and with the entire situation.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, we've got some pretty good responses here. Um, does anybody have any other questions or comments they want to share? Um, if not, I think I'm just gonna move into giving a little bit about our company. Um, so as Lord Ryan kind of mentioned, we are a family business. My dad Eddie and my uncle Fred and my uncle Henry started the business back in 1965. So they were, just typical Japanese kids growing up in Waipahu on Depot Road. And they started the business when they were in their early 20s. And they literally, back then, it's the work ethic and the morals and stuff is pretty outstanding. Typical, samurai Japanese, right? So, but my dad and my uncles literally built the shop, with their own two hands. We started, very very small. There were just my dad, my uncles. We had a receptionist, and I think we had like 4 or 5 people in the beginning. 7,000 square foot lot, and throughout the years the business grew. We earned that reputation for providing quality repairs, good customer service, all while doing it with integrity and just basically doing the right thing for the customers. um, then in 2002 we expanded our shop because the adjacent building next door became available. So my dad purchased that building, and then within a span of a few months, we more than doubled the size of our property. So the crazy thing is, I mean, being that we expanded and we filled up so quickly, we knew that obviously there was a need, for the type of services that we provided. But the business just continued to grow. And then in 2014, the adjacent lot yet again became available. So we expanded again and we acquired that lot too. So now that is some of our overflow parking, and we've got a 8 apartment complex that we rent out. So over the years, the business has been good. It's grown. We've been fortunate. We've had a lot of good relationships with customers, obviously, and insurance partners, vendors. So we've been really blessed, to have the business continue to thrive. There's a couple things that we're pretty proud of throughout the years. So back in 2009, we were actually one of the first body shops here in Hawaii to switch to waterborne paint. Being responsible and stewards of the environment, it's everybody's responsibility to kind of try and do the right thing, right? So we looked into alternate forms of energy, and we ended up doing a pretty large photovoltaic system on the roof of our 2 buildings. There's 440 panels to be exact. Um, so with that, we did this with the intent, obviously, of doing the right thing for the environment, kind of reducing our carbon footprint. But it was twofold. So we also created a separate power company that my mom and dad own. And so actually the body shop buys electricity from my parents, and that helps to fund their retirement. Um, then in, excuse me, another event that we're kind of proud that we participated in, we did a donation for a vehicle where we participated with a program where we basically refurbished a vehicle. So we've got a car from one of our insurance partners. We did all the complete body work and paint on it. We did mechanical work on it to get it running well. And we had a bunch of other sponsors and vendors that we work with. We worked with a local nonprofit, and we located a family that was in need, and we basically donated the van along with a bunch of other stuff. I mean, it was like food and bicycles and beds and cell phones, and I mean, it was an amazing, amazing experience, and that's probably one of the things that I'm most proud of that we've done in the past. And then one kind of final note, like in 2017, we were recognized by the SBA as the family-owned business of the year here in Hawaii, which is something that I think for my parents, it's funny because everybody wants the best for their kids and stuff, and I don't think my dad ever intended us to work in a body shop. We all actually we're all products of private school, and we all ended up coming back to the shop to work. But at the same time, I think he did. When this award kind of drew everything back together, and I think brought everything full circle for them. So that's a little bit about us. Does anybody have any questions? If not, I'm gonna turn it over to my sister Marlo, and she's gonna talk a little bit about what we look for when we hire and some of our interviewing and onboarding processes.
Hi. So if you are looking for a new career, Okas Auto Body may be for you. We utilize Craigslist and Indeed to post ads for various positions. What do we look for in an ideal employee? We don't necessarily have any requirements. Some experience would be preferential, but it's not required. Um, all training is done in house. The employee must possess the right attitude, be expected to work the hours required, be on time, and be willing to make a difference every day. And if you fit the profile and we think you may be an ideal candidate, we will set up an interview. If we decide to hire you, we'll determine a start date. You'll fill out a W-4, which lets the employer know how much tax to be withheld from your paycheck, and I-9, which is used to verify your identity and work employment. Medical insurance form and direct deposit will be an option for your paycheck. We also have a 3-month probationary period in which you'll be given on the job training. And if you are determined by your coworkers to be a good fit for our team, then you pass and you'll be given an official set of uniforms. So congratulations and welcome to Okas Auto Body. Thank you. And and Kyle will be talking about the tour.
Yep. So we're gonna start the tour now in just a couple of minutes. What we're hoping to accomplish is to kind of give everybody a little bit of an idea of what we do here, and to give everybody a little bit of insight into what exactly it is that we do on a daily basis. So I think we can get started.
Yeah.
We're gonna go downstairs. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna show you guys a picture of the body shop. You can see that. This is our building where we conduct all of the body repairs. So that's everything from metal repair, welding, structural repair, anything that has to do with the repair side of the vehicle is done in this particular building. Okay, we're gonna go downstairs. We're gonna go to the office and we're gonna talk to Helen. Helen is our customer service representative. So one of the difficult things is when we first get into the accident, which is how the claims process starts. Um, you don't really give much thought to how much effort goes into getting this claim started, right? So there's a lot of work, a lot of administrative work that goes on before the car even gets here. So this is a lot of what Helen does. So I'm gonna come into the office. I'm going to do a quick video of what our office looks like. This is our main office. It has been closed since the start of COVID, so it is quite empty. However, and I'm gonna walk back here real quick to see the back office and what that looks back here. And I am going to introduce you to, this is Helen Kagawa. She is our customer service representative, and she's going to explain a little bit about what she does. Helen?
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm a receptionist. So I do a lot of the initial face-to-face, well, not face-to-face anymore, but customer service work, like answering the telephones, greeting the customers, making sure they have the proper paperwork filled out, scheduling estimates, scheduling drop-offs, checking them in when they come. So yeah, I'm front office, so I do a lot of the personal upfront work with the customers, as compared to Liz, who's in our back office, and she does a lot of the paperwork and the accounting side. And so Liz pre-closes files, which sets it up for me to call the customer and tell them how much they're going to have to pay when they come to pick up their vehicle. And so we work in tandem very closely together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, thank you, Helen. What we're going to do now is we're going to walk back out into the shop. And as I said, the start of, got a little bit of noise here. I'm going to walk a little bit outside. So the start of any accident obviously involves you getting hit or you hit somebody. Once that's determined, then we start the claims process, which is a little bit about what Helen had just described. Once the car comes into the shop, we're going to do a second assessment. Part of that second assessment is what James does. I'm going to walk over to his desk. He also does the initial appraisal. And this is James. Hi, James. James, Friday. James is one of our estimators, and he's going to explain to everybody a little bit about what he does. Go ahead, James.
Hey everybody. My name is James Carlos. Practically, I've been in the automotive industry pretty much all my life. What I do here at Oka is I'm an estimator slash repair planner. So what I'm doing now is repair planning, which is the guys, they give us a supplement sheet right here, and we plug them into our estimating system that we use. This job is pretty challenging, pretty demanding. We're in a very high-paced production shop here, and I enjoy it. I mean, that's the challenge. Um, for you folks that are interested in learning this, I mean, this would be great. I mean, just not just for guys, it's actually for gals too. You know, so the girls, if you guys are interested in doing this, you guys can do this too. So our shop, we're fully equipped with everything what we have here, and it's a great career to have. Great career.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you, James.
Yep.
We're gonna we're gonna continue on in the body shop. I apologize for the noise in the background, but that is just the reality of what we do here. If a body shop is quiet, that's bad. That's a bad sign. That means they're not fixing anything. So just just a little bit of a comment there. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking it back. We're going to be walking over to one of our senior technicians um, who is currently repairing a car, and we will ask him what he is doing. Hang on 1 second. Okay, so here's a car that we are currently repairing. There's some metal work, as you can see. Uh, this technician, this is Garth Matas. He is one of our senior technicians, and he's gonna explain a little bit about what is it that he does. Garth, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Gato Bart Mate, and, and uh, I've been working OCAS for at least 36, 38 years altogether, and my background is we I took this trade because of my dad and going to high school. They didn't have college education, but you know, this job it provides for my family. So working at Oka is very, I mean, it provides for my family. So basically, um, you can actually, you know, even though without college education, you still can, you know, pursue what you doing like Autobody and stuff like that. So,
Yep.
and well, this is deal with
Terrific.
that's somehow about it, I guess.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you, Garth. Um, so yeah, we do a lot of different types of repairs at our shop. Like I said, anything from small scratches. We do a lot of metal repair. We do what we call structural repair. We're what we would consider a full service collision repair facility. So being an insurance driven business with insurance partnerships, we're basically expected to be able to repair whatever shows up at our door. And we do the best we can with the best quality in mind, with safety at the forefront. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to walk up into paint. That is the final stage of one of the final stages of the process. So after the car has gone through the body shop and has the repairs and the repair work completed,
whatever we repair or that requires painting is then coming upstairs into our paint shop. Okay, so I'm gonna switch the camera here. Okay, so this is the building that Brandon spoke of earlier. This is our original property when my dad and his brothers first started the business. And then we obviously acquired this building that we're in now. So the old shop is what we turned into our paint shop, and the paint shop is what it basically what it sounds like. It's where we do all the refinishing and all the paint work after the car has been repaired, right? So here are a couple of stalls. This is a prep stall. What happens after the repairs are done? The car comes up here and we do all sorts of different prep work in preparation of painting the vehicle. So there's another one. We'll walk over here. This is another one here. Okay. And here is a car that has been prepared. We'll take a look. Hey, Brandon. So this one has been prepped. It's been taped up and ready to be painted. As you can see. Okay. Then what we'll do it right after. Okay. Oh, so every year we do a Halloween contest that the guys use materials from the shop to create different Halloween, in this case, Halloween themed things. So if you take a look, this is something, 2 items that they literally created. So this one looks like, I'm looking at it now, it's a muffler that was welded together, and there's what we call a fender, a quarter liner, which is this black piece here. This one obviously is a bat, and that looks like a propane tank. I can't really tell. And some other car parts. This is the inside of a door handle on a panel, but that's the metal section that was cut out. So just some of the things that we like to do for fun with the Halloween theme. So it's fun for the guys. It's fun for our customers when we view it. In any case, this is the mixing room. This is where they prepare the colors for the painting. So what you would think, actually, when we paint a car, we have a formula that we follow. The formula is much like a recipe where they add certain amounts to achieve the right color. We never get the actual color from the manufacturer. So it's a very difficult process and requires a highly trained eye to be able to mix that color and tint the color just as it should be. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a picture. This is the back of our paint booth. I'm going to see if there's a car. There should be a car in there. Very difficult to see. I apologize about that if you guys can't see that very clearly. Actually, there was only actually a bumper that they did this morning. But like I said, the paint booth, it's what we call a downdraft booth, which controls the direction of the air. And it also has a heating element that force dries it so that when the car is, when it comes out, within a couple hours, we can go ahead and reassemble it and get it ready for to clean the car. And that is the paint shop. One last look. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Here we go. Look at that. Okay. So one last look. Okay. I think we're finished. And that pretty much concludes the tour of both the body and paint departments. Okay, we're gonna walk back upstairs. Not if there's any question. Did anybody have any questions that they can think of concerning the facility? Again, I apologize about the background noise, but it is a body shop. Any questions that we could answer? I didn't see anything come through quite yet.
We actually had the kids ask some questions before the tour. So one that I wanted to ask came from Andy, and he asked, is it hard for new employees to learn the ropes? Because I know you guys said that you do a lot of training for people. They don't necessarily have to have a background. So is it hard for someone to come in and learn all of these new techniques and job positions?
Sandy, I think, right, that had asked that.
Oh, and
you know, as far as learning the ropes per se, you know, we do in-house training. You know, we do like pay for like our technicians to go to classes. But you know, the reality is like with our industry, there's not a lot of people, or as much as we would want, people coming into the industry. So we've accepted that fact, and we're more than willing, and we're actually we've developed processes in place where, you know, we have tiered training for them. So, you know, as far as the reality is, it's kind of up to the individual. The opportunities there. We have the training. We have the guys that are willing to help. We have the classes, you know, that are already there. So, you know, really what it takes is for somebody to just have the right attitude, be willing to come to work every day, Monday through Friday, you know, and be willing to learn. That's really what it is. You know, our industry is such that quite honestly, I think every guy out there, with the exception of one guy, if I'm not mistaken, none of them have a degree from the local Autobody community college. Every one of them, and I know for a fact, every one of our lead technicians, every single one of them learned on the job. And there was just somebody that they learned from along the way that kind of like took them under their wing. But the reality is, right, for that to happen, you have to be willing to work. You have to show that you're ready to learn. And that's when you're going to kind of grow, right? So that's what it is. I mean, every one of our technicians out there, they're not graduates of some auto body college, you know, whether it's here in the mainland. They all just got their start. And like you heard from Gato, I mean, he's one of our senior technicians, and he learned a lot of what he knows from his dad. So, you know, and then along the way at the shops that he's worked at. So we recognize that, and we embrace it. So, you know, we just look for the right people who are willing to do it. But that's a good question.
I had a comment with that. So one of the things that I think they all do have in common, and that they all share early on in their career, is the desire, and then, you know, I think most importantly, the commitment, you know, to what it takes to actually do the trade. I mean, in all honesty, it's not something that can be learned very quickly. You know, it's a craft that takes years of commitment and on the job training. But if staying, you know, passionate about the job and being committed, I think, is what helped them to stick with it. And then along the way, you know, earning increases in pay obviously, you know, correlate with the increase in skill set. And so they over time was able to see that it's entirely possible for them to make a legitimate career, as Gato was saying, you know, earn a, you know, good living for his family. So any other? Oh.
Awesome, thank you. We had a comment from one of our case managers. Sounds like you guys have a lot of long-term employees, which means you have a really good workplace, you know, because if not, people can leave, you know, there's lots of different shops. Jasmine asked, has COVID affected the business in any way?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like what I always, when we talk with our guys, I kind of tell them it's all about perspective, right? I mean, it has been tough for us. Our sales have dropped significantly. We've been fortunate though, we are considered an essential business, so we've never actually had to shut down. We did do a little bit of a reduction in hours, just to kind of stay in line with the sales that we've got. But the reality is, there's a lot of good that came out of this. We got processes better. Everybody's so used to doing Zoom meetings now, right? But like same with us. I mean, we had to change our process. We were so used to tons of like face-to-face interaction. Just our just everything in general has gotten better. Our cleanliness, we sanitize like daily, multiple times a day, and we've closed our office. We've installed sneeze guards. I mean, all of these things. Disinfecting customers' vehicles when they drop them off and before they pick them up. All of these things were new to us, like everybody else. But we've embraced it. I mean, there's only so much that you can change, and you have only control over so many things. So we've accepted it, and we now know that when we do some of these things, not only is it better for the customer, it's better for our staff and our team, right? So we try and look at it in a positive state where these things happen, and you just have to make the best of it. And I think it's helped us to become better than we were 7 months ago, right? So, but good question.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really inspiring to see such a small business grow into like a multi-location, multi-even business kind of company. But how have you guys kept that small family business feel as you guys have grown over the years?
I think for us, it's just a lot of it is just being, I think, grateful for what we have. Our parents, the way we were all raised, it's their mentality and their outlook on life, I think has kind of shaped us into how we run the business and how we handle our families, whether our personal families or our work family here. So, it's important to us, how we treat our employees. It's important to us that they have a positive work environment. It's important to us that they have time away from this place. As much as we expect everyone to work hard when they're here, it's very important that they have a life outside of this business too. So we encourage, them to take time off. We encourage them to, if there's something going on, we want them to make sure that they're good at home before they come back to work. Because the reality is you can't work well if your mind's not into it, right? And something is pulling you away. So that part of it, I think we're very understanding about it, and it's something that for the three of us is important, is to have work-life balance, right? So I think that kind of helps with how we run the business and some of the things we do. We do yearly events. Every summer we do a family fun day. This is where we invite all the employees, their wives, their kids, their husbands, and we'll do like a beach event, and we'll cater food and get like slush machines, and we'll play volleyball, and we do stuff like that. Every year in January we call it a date night out, but it's a employee plus one. So this is time where you leave the kids at home, and we do something nice. Last year we did Signature. The year before that we did Roy's. We do quarterly barbecues. And again, and Kyle showed you back there about the Halloween contest. It's important to us that everybody works hard. I mean, that's a given, right? I mean, that's a given. When you have a job, you're expected to work that 40 hours, and you're expected to work hard. But at the same time, we want to reward people, and have fun while we're here. Because the reality is, unfortunately, I see some of these guys more than I see my wife and my own kids. So we want to make sure that environment is such where you want to be there, and it's fun, because everybody's got to work. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But you might as well have fun when you're there, right? So as long as there can be that balance, I think, that's something that for us is really important. Everybody being, knowing that they have to work hard, but, let's try and make it as fun as possible and make it rewarding for everybody as well while they're here. Hopefully that kind of
thank you. We had a question from Isaiah, and he asked, has your dad and uncles ever shared how they initially started the business and challenges they faced. And if I may add to Isaiah's question, do you guys face the same challenges today?
Let me see. You know, challenges that they faced when they started. Um, I'm not. I'm trying to think back because it's been quite a while. Um, I think just you know, wondering or having an idea of, you know, am I going to have enough work to do to be able to provide, to pay the bills and so forth. So when they obviously first started out, you know, um, 70s, 80s, into the 90s, you know, auto collision repair back then was very different than how it's been in the last decade. I think I'm just going to assume that, you know, one of their concerns, probably of many, was again just wondering if they were going to be busy enough. You know, how are they going to establish themselves as one of the pillars in the community for doing this type of work? Because, you know, they weren't advertising. It was, I'm guessing it was pretty much just by word of mouth and by just doing a good job on that car. Um, so I think early on, that's probably what some of the challenges were, was just having a steady stream of work. I think later on, it evolved into, you know, these relationships with the insurance companies, and how that kind of affects or affected the business, right? So um, having a partnership with a relationship, having a partnership with the insurance company is going to, in a lot of ways, establish a steady stream of work. So it's going to ensure that you have enough cars to fix, to pay your bills, everybody, you know, pay them, all of that stuff. And then, you know, if you're able to do a little bit more, and able to do, you know, keep the quality consistent, um, then we're able to buy new equipment, you know, we're able to hire more people. And it's just a kind of like a domino effect where we can just continue to expand from period to period to period. And I think that's part of, you know, early on at least, what some of their struggles were. Um, you know, and there was really nothing to teach them how to repair the car. There was really nothing established back then, you know, guidelines per se. You know, not like how there is now. We have a training body that we use as a resource for the technicians training. That didn't exist when they started. So it was really kind of rudimentary, if you. And that obviously it has taken a drastic change to how it's done now. But yeah, I think that's kind of sort of what I would imagine some of their challenges were back when they started.
Great, thank you.
Was there? I'm sorry. Was there another question? Sorry, I need to have my glasses. Okay. I didn't. Is there any other questions or?
I just had a comment. Something that we just had the kids, the students work on in their essential ed is the importance of teamwork and working together. And I know you guys mentioned in the beginning when you do the interview and you do the 3-month probation period that you ask the coworkers, you know, if they feel like that's an important fit. And hearing that you guys talk about having all of these events where you build the team and you work on the team, can you maybe just talk a little bit about that, since that's kind of like the most recent thing that they've been working on?
Yeah, no, that's you know, for us, a lot of what we rely on, we're very trying to think of the best way to explain it. We rely on our technician, our staff, heavily for a lot of the decisions that we make. We incorporate them in our processes when we build new processes for, let's say, completing body work or buffing a car or even down to washing a vehicle. We have standard operating procedures for all these different things in our business. And how we built those things was basically with all of our staff. So, for example, the standard operating procedure for um, doing body work, how we built it was to sit down with every single one of our body technicians. And it was, needless to say, it was extremely painful to draw all of it out. But that's the way how you make processes, and that's how you make them stick, right? Is when you get engagement from your staff. So that's how we do things here. When we make a process, we get everyone together. We ask everybody around the table, like every single person has to answer, is this how you guys want the process to be, right? So that's how we create process. Now, as far as like the staffing and training, the reality is, even though people have individual positions here, how they mesh with everyone has, obviously it affects the outcome of the business and how things run. So while there are responsibilities that Marlo will verify that the employee is doing, or I'll verify the employee is doing, a lot of times how they interact with the employees, the rest of the staff, how they show each other respect, that type of thing. Um, we rely heavily on the rest of our staff for their feedback. And if like for example, we just had a prepper that just passed his probation, his 90-day thing just 2 weeks ago. And I met with our two head painters. I met with our other prepper. I met with our other painter. And I did this multiple times throughout his 90 days to get feedback. How's he doing? What's his attitude like? Does he come to work? All of this stuff. And because the reality is, I don't work with him on a daily basis. I see him every day. I tell him good morning every day, but I don't have to work hand in hand with him. So if he's gonna be a good fit, it's gonna have to be a good fit with those guys, not so much me, because it's important that everybody can work well together and play nicely, because that's what's gonna dictate your work environment, right? So that's how we kind of view things. We like I said, we do rely heavily on our staff because they're the ones that are doing a lot of the work. So we want to make sure that everybody gets along well. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's coming from a corporate world. That's not necessarily the norm, right? It's kind of here are the procedures, you got to follow them,
Yeah.
and kind of
Agreed.
just the higher ups making decisions about those things. But thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the questions that we have on our ends. I'm just waiting to see if anything comes in. But we really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this virtual tour with us. I know this is one that we were excited to do, and we really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So that concludes the tour of Oka's Auto Body. I know that there's a last slide in order to get in contact with them. Kiana, if you want to pull that up really quickly. If you want to stay in contact with them, if you go to that page there, so it's www.ocasautobody.com/contact. You'll find a little contact sheet there that you can send them a little message their way if you have any more questions or just want to hear a little bit more about what they do. Right. So hopefully I can give you more information after the fact, but we're really grateful for Oka's Auto Body today. We're big thank you to them for just opening their doors to their family business and allowing us to be here. So otherwise, that concludes the tour.